so the kama. So what you so mu na oba so the kama e wuntua title. We are
you toss to be a mostly will be our bedi to so do now you are robber.
Anya me na make Bible.
Papa Bible na eka. Papa ye ka an robber na from wo bishop so suffocate to aso. Asori mpayimfo still word for so mo ya akromfo.
All right, so I believe by now many of you have seen this video going viral from a Ghanaian woman that stood before her pastor, and questioned him after the pastor claimed that whoever that came to the church without paying offering, tithe, and what they say welfare or something, without contributing into the church is a robber. Then it's an armed robber, let me say. Then this woman stood up and said that if that is the case, then all the elders in the church, including the pastor, are armed robbers because they stated that whoever that doesn't pay church, if the person need help, tithe, that doesn't pay tithe, if the person need help from the church, they were not going to help the person out. So the woman stated that as for her, even though she has money that she can pay over 100 cedis tithe a day or even offering, but she will not do it because she's saving the money for her future. Whenever she had problem that they will not help her solve, she will use the money to solve the problem. I'm very happy hearing this from a Ghanaian woman or an African woman that is questioning her pastor for what they are doing. Let's call a spade a spade. Sometimes when you come out to talk, to speak your mind against what is happening between man of God in Africa and their church members, the church members are the ones that will support the man of God. You see, you don't relax waiting for your pastor to solve your problem for you when you have one. You don't go to a church because the pastor is a celebrity or the pastor is a famous person and everybody know him. So you think by going to the church to pay offering or to pay tithe in that church, your problems will be solved. And also some of them will be sitting in the church thinking that it will get to her turn that the pastor will call her out and say, I bless you with so amount of money. The same mind game, psychological mind game they play with the church members. Sometimes they will come out, program someone and bring the person in front of the church members and say that because of your effort in this particular church, I, the pastor, the church is willing to give you so amount of money just to attract other people's interest into that. And for that matter, they will be contributing more money into the church. You see, it's good that the church members are realizing things themselves than you sitting in front of TV or a camera to tell them that they should not fall into this trap. God help those who help themselves. If you don't build nothing for yourself, there's no pastor in Ghana, there's no pastor anywhere that can bless you, that can give you anointing oil, that can even pray for you to become successful, unless you pray for yourself and work towards success. You will never achieve success. The pastor that is praying for you is depending on your offering and tithe for his success. And you are waiting for his prayers to be successful. How does that make sense? Some of us have a very low IQ. But that was by the woman's side. Now let me go to the pastors. You see, after this particular video went viral, a lot of pastors commented on the situation. I'm going to read some comment from some well-known men of God in Ghana that people respect a lot, and you also take their comment into your thinking. Let's get something. Let's share our point of view together. Now, first of all, let me read Prophet Kofi Odoro's comment. He said, General Overseer of Alabaster International Ministry, Prophet Kofi Oduro, took a a swipe at the female member, stating that the amount of money the woman was complaining about was nothing to warrant such outrage. So when you left your home to come and accept Jesus Christ as your personal Lord and Savior, didn't you know that you will pay offering or tithe? Who in this room can pay a tithe of $1 million? He was asking his church members and also asking the woman that raised this alarm a question. Now, Pastor, let me continue reading and then I'll share my point of view. And then Bishop Kobna Boachia Siama, popularly known as Ajagraja, I know his name to be Bishop Kobna Boachia Siama. He stated his comment here saying that controversial leader, that's his church name, controversial leader of the Universal Spiritual Outreach, Ajagraja movement, Bishop Ajagraja, also criticized the woman. What did he say? A ladies' wing member can raise her hand and speak trash to a pastor. Tell me, in which one-man church can she do those things there? If you want your opinion to be heard, must you call your pastor an armed robber? You have disgraced the pastor and dented his reputation, he said. Now, this is one of the people that I respect the most. Let me read his comment. Reverend Obofo, most of Ghanaians know the names I'm calling. Rev Francis Anchi, popularly known as Reverend Obofo, or Prophet Asanteman, founder and leader of Anointed Place Chapel, APC, also waging on the matter. A lady was holding a mic and talking to her pastor rudely, and that is what we are talking about. That has become the topic, and the nation is focusing on such nonsense, he asserted. Now, of all these three pastors that I read their comments, you will understand that they are backing their fellow pastor that the woman criticized. Let me tell you why. When you are a thief, you always try to defend another thief. Like I said earlier, I am happy that Ghanaians are realizing this themselves. Africans are realizing this themselves. Now, I have three challenges for these pastors that criticize this woman of her not being disrespecting her pastor and all that. I want them to come out, all these men of God to come out and show us their properties before they become pastors. They have life before becoming pastors. They should come out publicly and say that I was this. This was what I represented before becoming a pastor. That's the first challenge. They should come out. Any of them that know he believed himself, he became successful out of his hard work, without the offering of the church, without the tithe of the church, without the donation that people are donating into the church. The person should come out and say that this was my brand before becoming a pastor. This was my business before becoming a pastor. And you will show proof, you will show evidence for people to believe that, yes, you were who you are before you became a pastor. We know some of you barely feed before becoming a pastor. That's the first one. You see, the second one is that any pastor in Africa, any pastor that can vouch in his church that after watching this video or after they criticize of the woman, his church members should not pay tithe. They should not pay offering. They should not support the church. He built the church because he want to do the work of God, so that he will found the church from his pocket because he built it. Let's say he's not founding it from his pocket. The offering that we have been paying for this past 10 years, for this past 15 years, the person should pledge to stop them from paying tithe and use all the offering and then the tithe they have been paying for the past to found the church. Let's see, for 10 years, the pastor that know he can do it should pledge between him and God and come out and say, from today, I don't need any offering from my church members. I don't need any support. I don't need any tithe. No one should support the church. I build the church because I can found the church. So all you guys need to do is come to the church and worship and go home. I will found the church. I'll take the expense of the church. Let's see if you will sell your Rolls Royces, you will sell your Bentleys to found this church for 10 years. Let's see. If you know leave that church run, may you call me Nama. When I think say we don't know what you will be. Many of our way comment this comment, chop beans, and I know say beans no they go for our body. Now chop beans. The woman is stating a fact, something that concern her, something that she know that she has been paying tithe, offering, and you people are using it to enrich yourselves. And now you have the gust to criticize them. I don't blame them. I don't blame you people. I blame them. I blame church members that will go into church, to eat food over there, go into man of God's house to eat without knowing what the man of God used in preparing this food. You people need to know that these are people that are very desperate for money and power. They can do everything. Do you even know the food you chop go turn your brain around? Maybe they follow with everything with this pastor talk. And I don't know say that they do all these things as psychological, mind games they are playing. Everybody in Ghana know Reverend Agofo. When you were giving cars to celebrities, you gifted Wayosi a car, you gifted Achere Burua a car, you gifted Christian Awuni a car, you gifted Sofo Band that was formerly following Bishop Ebini a car. Now I want to ask you a question, Reverend Obofo, respectfully. I want you to come out and point one of your church members, one ordinary church member that you gifted a car in your church, or two, let's say two, come and point two of them that were farmers, that were market women, that were charcoal sellers, that were cocoa sellers, that you turned their life around as you displayed on the TV. Call those church members to come out. We all know that you gifted these people, you gifted these people cars and money because they have they are influential. People know them. They are well known by the people. That is why you take your time to buy these cars, give to them, to attract other celebrities' attention to come to your church. That was what you did. Normally, charity they stop. Why you suddenly stop the charity work? I thought you were doing charity from the church money. You don't need money, so you were doing. Let's say you were doing charity. Why did you stop? Like I said, you people should. You see, you guys in Africa or every part of the world have to know that work of God is something that when you sit down and realize you are fit, you are financially capable, that you can run a church. Then you build a church and found that church without relying on people's offering and tithe. Either a mosque or a church. That's how it should be. Before you build a mosque or a church, you should be capable knowing from you that financially, even if nobody found this church, I can found it till death. I can take the full expense of the church. Whatever people bring is just a bonus for you. If they bring it, fine. If they don't, you don't have to question them. You don't have to hold people accountable to pay tithe and offerings in your church for good sake. So you guys should come out and show us who you were, your brand, before this pastor. We know saying a business, but as una no one accept and saying a business, smoke na come out, come show us waiting una represent before the church business. Else, now go see me for television. Every day when una sit down for house like this on television, and me una go see for television. Now they hear me so.